everybody to the Onward Master League VRML as well. Season 14, week number 5, our matchup of Oscar Victor Lima versus Phantoms. I'm your host, F. Lipinski, accompanied by my co-host, Blue Sniffer here.
Hello, everyone.
And today we're going to have a great matchup versus a silver and a gold team right now based off of the divisions. First map looks like it's going to be Shipyard based off of that very loud horn. Let's talk about bans real quick. Blue Sniffer, what are our bans from Oscar Victor?
So, looking into the bans for this evening for Octa Victor Lima, or known as OVL, the bans for this evening, for which they have chosen, is going to be Abandoned and Downfall. So, quite a very large map bans, of course, for this evening. They've clearly chosen to avoid these maps. Let's say, if we do look into Phantom's, previous records for these bans particularly, they did play Downfall they played Downfall 8 times last season in season 13 and won it 4 times with a 50% win rate and a 50% win rate on each round. So quite even screaming on that regards. But for Abandoned, they did play it, I believe, 3 times, so not as much, but they did win it 100% of the time. So it is understandable to want to avoid these maps.
Yeah, that's a good point. From Phantom's ban, we're actually going to be seeing Subway and Cargo. And Phantoms have been around for quite a while. Oscar Victor Lima, this is going to be their second season playing the VR National League as a team. Meanwhile, Phantoms have been around since the season 7, so they're definitely one of those veteran teams. And right now, they have a lot of stats that you can look at based off of their team and how they play. They chose Subway and Cargo as their ban. Subway is a map that they've only won 9 out of around, I believe, 26 times in their career, or 28 times actually. So not their hottest looking map at the moment. They have about a 32% win ratio. And for Cargo, they've only won 7 out of 28 times. So they definitely were banning their weaker maps as a team rather than the opponent's stronger maps. So that's something that you do see a lot of times. Sometimes you might feel confident with the opponent's best map, so you just get rid of the weakest of your own out before you go into that matchup. So right now for our teams, Oscar Victor Lima are a silver division team. They are ranked 43rd worldwide and 13th EU. Phantoms are gold division, ranked 26th worldwide and 6th EU. So it's clear that the Oscar Victor Lima team is quite the underdog for today, both in connoisseur votes as well as based off of their standings as well. Blue Sniffer, what do you think we're going to see today as our matchup? Do you think it's going to be a close match? Do you think we might see some superiority in some maps more than other? Or do you think it's just going to be close all the way?
Well, it is very uncertain, as you said, to be to be fair, but it will be a very exciting matchup because Oscar Victor Lima is going to be the underdogs for this evening, as they are the silver team compared to the gold team, which is Phantoms. But in this idea, Phantoms should have the upper advantage in terms of the skill. But when it comes to this map, which is Shipyard, it has not been played. It's a very new map as it has been recently added into the Season 14 map pool. So it will be quite an interesting sight to see how both teams will be playing it.
Yeah, it will indeed. As we are now hopping into round number 1, we've actually got one of the more easier objectives to hold on Volk, so Phantoms might have a little bit of an advantage so far. This is going to be the far east building on Shipyard. So really it comes down to just watching one open cross to get to that objective, and you've got quite a lot of control of the map as well. Just kind of have to take control of that ship as well. We're gonna see what Oscar Victor Lima can do to kind of take control of the map as much as they can. More map control will help them a long way here.
Of course, but now looking over to the southern side, we do have Yucha and, of course, Canada Guy, which are now trying to push up next to the containers. Do need to worry about Oscar, which is in the blue room, but he want to be kind of watching that cross. But we do have Thibodeau, which is kind of watching down the south, so that will be a main issue for them to take care of. But he is kind of playing in the open, so if they do come around and do spot him, that will be quite an easy pick.
And I'm looking right here, Canada Guy might get picked off by Tipoduro here. So he's watching the long angle in the south. We do also have Pablo up here on the ship, possibly going to be there to get some picks. Just like I said earlier, Tipoduro does get one. He didn't get Canada guy. Instead, he got Uchiha.
A very nice little pick there, going for Tipo. Very nice, of course. But checking over to the ship, we do see Liver, which is now trying to make it her way across. Oh, down goes Sogs there from Pablo. Nice little pick. Going for Phantoms here, leaving down to a 5v4. No, 5v3, I must say. Just up to Liv, trying to make her way up, trying to get into the container and trying to take down Pablo for the team.
Not looking great for Oscar Victor Lima right now in a 3v5 situation. Pablo still in a very strong position, and Leviathan does know that they are somewhere on this ship. The real question is who's going to get the kill, and
Oh,
trade comes out.
What a very nice trade.
Still revivable too. Now it's a 2v4.
2v4 might well and truly be a 2v5 very shortly. So waiting to see if Phantoms will be trying to go for that revive. Possibly may not, but we do have Jedi and of course AD Cannon, which is inside the center building. So they will be trying to figure out how they want to try to push this here. It does appear that Canada guy might be trying to go for the round flank. Nope, he's just moving around, watching the basement tunnels just to make sure no one is coming from behind.
Revive is going to go out into Pablo as well from Achilles.
So that is most... Oh.
2v5, so... Odds are not in OVL's favor.
So it's going to give Phantoms quite a numbers advantage, being stuck into a 5v2 situations for them sake. They do have the numbers advantages and they can be a little bit reckless. We do see Canada, which is going to peek around the same corner and the south. Tipo is still watching the south side, so they might spot him if Canada guys goes a little bit wide. Jedi, of course, being on top of the roof next to the AC unit, just trying to spot down, trying to see any movement.
Yeah, it looks like Canada guy is going to stay a little bit along this left wall, knowing that there's someone on that objective trying to watch that long angle, and if Canada's not careful enough, could easily meet the same fate of Uchiha. They have to assume that Oscar Alvarez is in that blue building, though. It's a very common meta position to kind of hold that cross on. Meanwhile, they know someone was on ship. They don't know if it was a trade. They don't know if they're dead or alive. We know they're alive, so it is going to be such a tough play for OVL to try to come back from with only 2 minutes remaining and 5 enemies left. Pablo does take the high ground on the ship as well, so they're going to have a lot of overall advantage. And down goes Jedi. One thing that many people do not know is that I believe that little vent is possibly bullet penetrable. It's not something I can confirm, but Tipo does get the kill on Canada guy, ending the first round. Phantoms taking the lead with 1 point on Oscar Victor Lima's map pick.
So what a very good first round. Going for Phantoms, but yes, that little vent thing she did say is penetrable in some weapons, of course. But I say many people do forget, but you can shoot through it. And as you did see from AVG, he did take great advantage of that, making sure to shoot through those little metal gate things just to get him through that little vent. So that did secure the pick, leading up to the 1v5, which did end in Phantom's favor.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's going to be a really tough map if OVL consistently gets peaked on from Phantoms. They're going to have to try to play more as a team and go for some refrags and kind of narrow down where the defense is on the future rounds. Like I said, this is a tough objective to attack, so we'll see how the cards favor Phantoms on this next round. They might get that quick spawn being on that ship as well, or they could get the similar spawn that OVL had, which was all the way in the west as well behind the warehouse. So it's going to be an interesting round to see. What do you think that OVL can do on the next MARSOC to secure themselves another point?
Well, it was going to be quite a difficult one because they do have the bit of an issue because we're not exactly sure what the OBJ might be, but for OVL's sake, they do need to try to not over-peak because as you did see, we have a lot of overpeaking, which did lead to a fair few picks, particularly in the southern side. So if they do play a little bit more tighter and they try to take advantage of the utility a bit more, we could truly see that Oscar Victor Lima trying to get a few picks down, but gonna have to see how that will progress.
Right. Similar objective as last round for OVL, but with Phantoms this time. So not going to get that spawn advantage, allowing OVL to take control of that ship early on if they want. Definitely something I would recommend because it does give you a lot of control over the map. Keeps them trapped in that center warehouse and along that south open area. Looks like they're going to be sending quite a few players on an aggressive defense.
And might work out in their favor.
Uchiha made it inside that room after just narrowly missing 3 lines of sight. And Uchiha's going to go for a flank. Look at that, using the tunnel system. Not something you see quite often. I mean, they're definitely going to hear those footsteps. Very hard to mask the sound of. And they do have Gecko at the tunnel exit to prevent anyone from that flank as well. I think we might see a pick right here from Achilles. Oh, and he doesn't go for the shots. I think Sogs might have spotted him. Out and down goes Sogs. The headshot by the M249. Looking back at Uchiha here.
Does need to worry about Gecko.
He's not even looking though.
Gecko may not be aware.
Doesn't seem like it.
This might play out to Ichiko's side right now. Gecko is on the wiser. Yep, and he's going to be pushing through.
Uchiha ready to take advantage of that, but if he plays his cards too slow, he might allow that offense to take more control of the map. You do have Canada Guy also at the other end of the ship too. Ooh, and Uchiha kills Achilles.
Yeah, it came out of the tunnel, who was still looking at the little staircase from the far western side, but it took too long to push up and will get punished for it. Yeah. Gecko is now trying to make his way up the staircase into the center second floor. Canada, of course, is on the ship, has made it to the western side of the ship, so he is holding quite the aggressive angle. Oh!
Down goes both Gecko and Tipo Duro. That flank's definitely paying off here. And it's looking like it might be OVL's round. I mean, Gecko is still revivable and could be making callouts on Canada Guy, rotating back around ship. But the real question is, can they get to Gecko while Uchiha's on that flank?
So that was a very nice aggressive flank from Uchiha. Does get the pick. Definitely going to get that confirmed onto Gecko. Of course, we do have all the other Phantoms people just trying to get an angle onto a bot, or onto, I can't pronounce his name probably, I must admit, Uchiha, thank you. So Oscar is making his way up the stairs, trying to spot Uchiha here.
Oh, and I think he might spot him in a second if he goes up a little bit farther. Uchiha is definitely exposed to Oscar's position.
So Uchiha is quite in the open, so if Oscar did go up that staircase, he would be gone, but just appears that Oscar will be trying to play this quite passively. Not trying to expose himself here too much. Oh, but he does pick up, and he does secure the pick onto Uchiha.
It's 3v2 right now. Oscar Victor Lima still with the man advantage. 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining. Canada still on that flank, though, and I don't think that the remaining Phantoms are prepared for that flank from Canada Guy.
Nice, a few pre-fires from, of course, Oscar trying to take out the blue one, but those little mirror things are not bulletproof. Well, no, are bulletproof, I must say, so they will not be able to shoot through that, but he's just trying to spot anybody out. We'll be checking a few of the spots which were played last round by themselves. So they are holding
Pablo about to come into contact right here. Let's see who gets the shots off first. And Pablo just tucks in. Leviatha does know Pablo is right around that corner. Canada Guy does kill Oscar from the flank, making Pablo the last one remaining on Phantoms in a 1v3 situation. If the kill count is accurate, they can call out Pablo's remaining position, giving Canada Guy plenty of time to rotate. But, you know, if Pablo makes his way towards that objective, then Canada Guy might find himself regretting that flank.
say it does appear that Lev did not actually hear Pablo, so we'll be trying to rotate around. Might have heard him, not exactly sure. It's kind of uncertain, but I believe that Lev is unaware that Pablo's right below him or her. Oh, make some footsteps. I'm coming with the pre-fire with the trade, securing the first point for Oscar Victor Lima.
Yeah, great round from OVL overall. I mean, they definitely, you know, made a strong comeback after that first round in I think they still had 5 up from Phantoms, at least 4, round just before. So after that round, they definitely said, you know, let's try playing aggressive and see what we can pull off from that today. And it definitely turned out in their favor. So well done to Oscar. Next round, OVL back on Marsoc. You know, we're gonna have a different objective. We're gonna be up in the northeast on the ship. This is a difficult one to approach because you got to get on that ship, and that ship is pretty hard to control once the defense is already on it. It really comes down to a lot of aggression. So OVL is going to have to use that aggression, the momentum from round 4 into this next round if they want to secure it.
I think, yeah, as you did say, it is going to be quite a challenging one for OVL, but great use of utility will be most definitely needed here. Most importantly, do try to nade out this little red container little spot right here, as I'm showing at the moment. It is very commonly played, I have seen recently, and it just gives quite an easy advantage that people are able to peek out and check over the second story on the center. But of course, you need to worry about all the containers at the top, and of course, you can jump off the containers to get on the side ridge on the little catwalk section, so you can make your way around to get a few little advantage points. But say this map has, well, most particularly on the ship, has many spots which you do need to look out for in some ways.
I think taking control of that center rooftop on Marsoc is definitely key advantage on this objective as well, having a lot of that control. So let's see what OVL have in round 3.
So we're looking forward to it. Of course, some drummies are being handed out, so we're gonna see some drum mags and some pre-fires going ahead with a lot of bullets. So that'll be interesting to see how OVL will be taking that to their advantage. We do see that Phantoms are now making their way up toward the defense, are kind of playing quite in a square formation here, having the one player, which is going to be Tippo, going for the aggressive push up to the ship. Just make the cross next to the ramp.
But Tippo Duro, quicker than the Marsoc, does put himself in a great position as well to possibly get some picks, especially on Uchiha. Canada's there for the refrag, though, if needed.
So Tippo should really just try to peek out right now. Has 2 players right in front of him. Oh.
Makes that 3. Here goes Canada.
Tippo does get 1. Doesn't go for the second one. Out goes a flash. He's going to get flanked. But yeah, he does get, unfortunately, taken out from Sogs. If he just pushed a little bit more aggressively, could have had 2 there. But unfortunate that did not occur for him.
Right now, they have a pretty tight defense around this objective. 1 watching pretty much every ramp that leads towards that objective. 1 from above, watching the south cross towards the east. And only 1 pretty much preventing a strong push from up the ship, which is Achilles. Kind of curious to see what Uchiha can do against Achilles. I mean, he's going to have to check every corner here. And checking this corner slow a lot of times results in a trade, if not just immediate death from the person that is holding the tight angle.
Ooh, nice little aggressive angle held by Pablo, but unfortunately get the trade.
Sogs is 1. Oh, and he stops, and a trade comes out.
What a trade!
Now it's a 2v2, OVL and Phantoms, with Phantoms still having 1 Resable here.
Say Jedis
move up as well. I mean, real question is, how are they going to take this objective with only 2 players? I mean, it's definitely possible. Is Phantoms going to go for that revive as well? I mean, they do have Jedi on that rooftop now with a lot of great cover. Pablo's going to be able to make some call-outs, and Leviatha has taken control of the south part of the ship. Down goes Oscar, leaving all up to Gecko. Position has been exposed. It's a 1v2. Gecko's gonna try to get the kill on the Jedi, but Jedi gets Gecko instead, and 2 remaining on OVL, giving OVL a 2-1 lead.
What a good play, of course. As I say, that rooftop definitely needs to be utilized a lot more often when you are trying to clear out that little northeast or northwestern ship objective. I say something which I have spotted that team players do often try to lurk around the few little containers at the staircases up the top. So it is always wise to kind of peek around to see if anyone is kind of lurking around there.
Right. Yeah. Let's take a look at this replay real quick as well from Achilles. Achilles does get Sogs on a great rotate and eventually trades with Uchiha. Would have been a great advantage for Phantoms and possibly could have kept the round in their favor if it resulted in just a kill or a down instead of a trade overall. Unfortunately, OVL did have a great Marsoc push towards that south part of the ship, having 1 covering from above and 1 pushing underneath, kind of disrupting that defense as well. So well done from OVL. Definitely improved on their second Marsoc round from their first one. Let's see how aggressive they're going to play on this next round for the ship objective. I think they're going to be pushing as far as they can on that ship, as well as pushing all the way up onto that middle rooftop as well, if not the third story. You know, they did really well in their aggression around prior, went for those flanks. I just don't think that Phantoms are going to be able to do this round. I think it's going to go towards OVL.
Well, this may well truly be, of course, Oscar Victor Lima do have quite an advantage on this round. Of course, this is a very, a vault-sided map, especially on this objective, to say at least. So, Oscar Victor should have a fairly easy time here trying to secure the next point. But I would be inclined to see if someone would maybe push up to the blue room, as they will be able to watch the center top of the roof, as that is a very common spot, as it will allow them to kind of clear that off for the team, so don't have to worry about getting picked off. But Phantoms are now off, now making their way through.
Yeah, and Uchiha is going to try to get into that garage first floor. Going to have to watch out from the peaks underneath that van. Makes it through, tries to get Oscar, doesn't get the connection, but he's going to push around through that door and gets the kill. Oscar's not prepared for that sudden push. 4 shots coming out and free fire from Achilles. Canada guy can hear him. Meanwhile, Uchiha does have a great hold in the center, pretty much disrupting Tipoduro and Pablo from moving up any farther. A great aggressive defense does take control of at least half the map, preventing Phantoms from moving up farther without getting shot in the back. Pablo almost gets taken out by Uchiha. Watching that door, is the same thing going to happen from Oscar? And it does. Pablo wasn't prepared for Uchiha to be peeking that same door. Now it's a 5v3. OVL is doing a great job right now on their defensive rounds, just pushing far. Is Uchiha going to go for a flank? We'll see in just a second, as he's kind of sitting on that ramp. I think he might just be using it for cover. Canada guy does get shots taken from Gecko, but doesn't get down and still can rotate. Achilles is going to go for the kill on Uchiha, as Uchiha went for a bit of a push. 4v3 now, and they still have control of the ship, which is definitely necessary. A nice little flare comes out from Sogs, doesn't really do anything besides give away their position. And the guy is going to go for some peaks here and almost gets taken out by Achilles, but takes out Achilles, takes out Gecko with the trade, making it 3v1 all up to Tipoduro. Smokes are coming out on objective, so now the final player has been exposed to the remaining defense of OVL. Leviathan definitely called out that position as well, so they are all well aware. Sogs is going to rotate back near objective and is going to try to just hold it down, prevent any kind of caps, and just secure maybe at least a trade to just take the round and make it 3-1 here. Tipoduro pretty much going to have to try to keep their team tied with OVL right here by winning this round. Gets the kill onto Sog, so now it's a 1v2, making their job a little bit easier, but kind of trapped, and Leviatha's watching that angle. Leviatha might pick off Tipoduro if they just hold that angle there.
He is trying to get a little angle, of course, on Tipo, trying to look at the top section of the crate, trying to spot anyone, of course. Shadow might peek out, but do need to worry about Lefebvre here. because Lev is in a very powerful position. Once Tippo does drop, he will make a bit of noise because I do believe that will cause him a little bit of full damage. So Lev could easily swing round and secure that pick onto him if she does decide to go to the right a little bit here and get towards the fence.
Yeah, I think Leviathan's just gonna stay tucked in, and not sure if that's the best play. But of course, Leviathan doesn't know exactly where Tipodoro is. Right here, Tipo could have been picked off from Leviathan's previous position. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Still plenty of time for Phantoms to try to win this round here after it being a 1v3, now a 1v2.
It's going to be very, very, very slow for the next few coming up moments. Okay, Tippo is just trying to play safe, just trying to play slow, just trying to spot those angles. But, you know, of course, OVL will be most definitely trying to not overpeak this, trying to go as quiet as possible, trying to not, you know, give away where they are at the current moment. But it is just kind of the waiting game to try to see what Tippo will be trying to do. Will be considering dropping down in just a few moments by the looks of things.
If you were Tipo, what would you do right now to try to get yourself this round win?
If I was in this kind of situation, I would probably try to get down the ramp as quick as possible, check underneath the ramp, and try to push out. Trying to check out the crane to make sure there is no one there. But if not, try to push the way up the side of the ramp and try to put some aggression onto Jedi. And if that is the case, I could easily try to bet out his general position, which does allow me to try to figure out how I will try to approach it. So you do want to try to figure out, because it's all about trying to know where the players are, but Liv does appear to be moving out slightly here. Might have a very clean angle in just a few moments on the Tippo, and he comes around, and yes, he does. Yes, he does, securing the pick onto Tippo, securing the 3rd point for Oscar Victor Lima.
Yeah, I think if I was Tipo there, I might have ran off of that little cargo container on that ramp, disregard if anyone was under it or on the crane area, and just pushed onto that ship. Anyone that is now south of the ship can't kill me. You know, they have to push towards me at this point. I would just try to wrap myself around the objective, listen for those footsteps, make the person on objective rotate, because they can't watch that objective all on their own. And if they were, I would check that angle first, the only angle that you can watch the objective by yourself on. And then at that point, I would just try to wait out that last player if I feel like they were pushing me. If I felt like I had time, and I would probably go for the cap. But you know, it's a tough thing to do because you do not know where everyone is. You don't know what the kill count is. You don't know where they might be at on objective. You only got so much time. You had 1 minute 13 remaining when you started climbing down there. It was just poor timing because all up until that moment, Leviathan was tucked in, and the second Tipo decided to move down is when Leviathan started to peak. So, unfortunate onward timing, as we call it. Maybe next time Phantoms might have a little bit more luck on their side when they try to start moving up or down the map as it is. So, for our next round, Phantoms are on defense. This is also one of the easier objectives to hold as well. The far east building as well. I mean, this one, once again, only one angle to really approach from. So we're going to probably see a pretty tight, tucked in Phantoms defense. They might send one up to center. Oscar Victor Lima really going to have to pull out their big guns here to try to win this last round to get them to round number 5.
Very excited to see how Phantoms will be trying to play this, as of course they do want to make sure to win this, you know, defensive round here. And of course, Oscar Victor will be trying to make sure not to do anything a little bit rash, trying to secure this last point, if not trying to get for a cap, but I will imagine they will be trying to secure the points in terms of just trying to get those kills. Of course, we do have Oculus, which is watching through the stairs. They are taking quite a wide go for it though, so clearly they are aware of that common spot which is often played.
And OVL does have that quick spawn on that ship, so they do get a little bit of the advantage. An interesting position from Oscar, kind of holding all the way back behind their spawn. Not quite sure what the plan is for that position. Not sure how well it's going to come in handy. I mean, they have used that tunnel in the past to try to get behind the offense. Not sure if they're going to use that same strategy to get behind the defense, though. I think our first contact might be from Uchiha here, possibly going to get a pick onto Achilles if they spot him, and it doesn't seem like they notice Achilles right there. Oh, yes, he does. Down goes Achilles from Uchiha, 5v4. And giving the ship a little bit more wiggle room to move out. Gecko and Tipo holding tight angles. Not a lot of room for error. If they miss their shots right away, they will not be able to easily overcorrect and get the kill. Pablo does kill Canada guy from his position though. Inside objective. 4v4.
So a very nice little pick there. Of course, Tipo is kind of watching that red ramp and the cross. So Tipo is holding
Jedi's
quite a
position.
Jedi. Oh yeah, Jedi is. Oh yes, as I said previously, you are able to get on top of the little ridge section if you do jump off a container. Shots are being had. Liv will be taken out from Gecko here.
Yeah, they gotta watch out for Jedi. If Jedi makes his way towards Gecko's position, it'd be an easy kill from above. And possibly could get on the objective while passing by both Tipo and Gecko if he chooses to do so. Gecko has no idea that they are there. Sogs does get the kill onto Pablo from objective. 3v3 once again. Oscars might have to start rotating on site and leave his position. Curious to see how Jedi plays this out. Tipo kills Sogs. Now it's 2v3. And it was a great confirm made. Uchiha kills Tipo. So now it's a 2v2. Does Jedi see Gecko? He does. And now it's all up to Jedi. As Jedi was just a second too late to kill Gecko. And now it's a 1v1. Oscar versus Jedi. And wow, look at Jedi's angle on that objective. I think he might have spotted Oscar too. And I don't think Oscar saw Jedi. I mean, holding that angle would have been a pretty solid angle for Jedi to hold. Now, this is what we call...
interesting, to say at least.
Yes.
This is not something you see every single match, to say at least. I've never seen anyone go on the outside, but fair enough. Jedi is now made.
I've seen that once before, but not in a cast. So it's gonna be interesting what Phantom's reactions are gonna be to this. And down goes Oscar. Wow, Oscar Victor Lima get the win. And I just want to say, what a great comeback from that first round. Meaning they lost 5. The Phantoms had 5 members up after the first round ended. And I thought this would be a close map after watching that, or Phantoms might have just swept them on it. But after that exact round, OVL's like, all right, no more messing around, and they came to play. 4-1.
It was just a warm up. It was just a confidence boost, as they always say.
It was.
Was most definitely taking advantage of that confidence boost, which definitely Phantom must have gone from that first round, but they kept it through.
What do you think our next map's gonna be?
Our next map, oh, very interesting, because let's have a quick look into the stats, and this is going to be Phantom's pick, of course. So, of course, we do look at the Season 14 statistics, and we do check online with our bans. OVL did ban Abandon and Downfall, but it does leave, of course, we do have Subway, which is a very high possible pick here from Phantoms. Oh, it's banned. I take that back.
5 Phantoms.
Did they even weirder? Oh, fair enough. But maybe, I don't know. I guess I have to check the Season 14 records then.
Quarantine might be our next
Quarantine.
Pick. I mean, if Oscar Victor Lima banned those long-range maps, we might see either Quarantine or Snow Peak. Phantom being that veteran team, they're probably going to want to take that experience from Quarantine with them on this next map, unless they feel very confident on Snow Peak, which they might have just as much practice on Snow Peak as Oscar Victor Lima. I might go with Quarantine, give themselves a little bit more distance so that OVL can't play as aggressive, and if they do, it's going to cost them possibly a cap. So that's what I would probably pick if I were Phantoms. Let's take a look at their possible stats of Quarantine though real quick. Quarantine is a 46% map win ratio. from their career at a 47% round win ratio. They could pick Suburbia. It's their most played map in their career with their one of the highest map win percentages and round win percentages. They could also choose Snow Peak, but they've only played it 7 times in their career. 7 times. They've won 4 times. So it's going to be interesting to see what they might pick.
Be very interesting to see what they will be picking, of course. So I am very excited to see what they're going to be choosing for this next map, and we will be deciding very shortly. Both teams are now moving their way into a rehost, so we'll be looking forward to see what they will be choosing next.
Yes, and I'm going to go ahead and so we don't have that train background.
No, that bug has been fixed now, Levinsky. You're welcome to know that.
Thank God.
That bug was fixed about a few updates ago, but yes, to say that bug.
Updates ago, I feel like I just heard it last week, man.
Listen, every time you hear that horn, it just puts a shudder through my bones. It haunts me in my dreams, yes. The PTSD I get from hearing that boat horn, it just scares me. I thought it was bad enough on USS Quest, to tell you that much.
Oh man, yeah. Hopefully we're all good. Do we know what the next map is yet?
I do not believe so.
I got my money on quarantine. What do you have your money on, Blue? Ask me something different. We have to make a bet here.
I don't know. I mean, I'm really bankrupt for making that bet of you of that Subway card.
Yeah.
But
you just got Subway on your mind, man.
Of course, we do love a good Subway. But anyway, moving into our next map, it does appear. Very exciting second map pick.
Oh, I was wrong.
You were very wrong. You were very wrong indeed.
I brought it up, but I was predicting quarantine. Kind of shocked that they would go for Suburbia as map number 2.
So this is still a very solid map, and I do know that both teams do play this map occasionally. So it's going to be an interesting. But if you do look at Phantom's previous records for Suburbia, they played it 7 times last season. So that was their second most played map with winning it 5 times out of the 7 with a 71% win rate, and for each individual round win rate they had a 65% chance. So that is still some pretty high stats, and it is clear to me why they have chosen this map with the amount of experience they have.
They've only played it 5 times in the past 2 seasons, and they only won it twice. So
that is not a good sign.
Suburbia Night, but they lost that every round. They were 4-0 on that match. So
we'll have to hope that they have been practicing Suburbia then, to say the least.
Yeah, I agree. I was really surprised they didn't choose Quarantine, because they probably have. I mean, Quarantine they played 7 times and they only won it twice. So I would have picked Quarantine. But we're gonna see. Maybe Phantoms might win this map, and if they do, it's definitely the right choice for them, right pick. Or Oscar Victor Lima might keep it close and possibly win this map as well. We'll have to see. I mean, do you think it's going to be a shutout like the first map with OVL's favor, or do you think it's a Phantom shutout? Do you think it's going to be close? What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a fairly close second map, but I believe it's going to go to Phantoms, leaving us down to a last map decider. I'm going to be honest. Because, of course, Phantom does have the higher experience for this map, but, of course, seeing how Oscar Victor Lima is kind of killing it so far, you know, you never know. They might well and truly keep up the energy and try to get a few points down, leaving us to like a tiebreaker round on the round 7, which would be very exciting to see. But I believe in my mind that I think Phantom's going to secure this map, leaving us down to a tiebreaker map decider. That's what I'm imagining.
I think you're close on what I was thinking too. I mean, you know, looking at that last match, I would probably, you know, if I was new to casting and playing, I would probably put my cards on Oscar. But the one thing I want to remind is, you said this is Phantom's map. This is their most played map. They pick the most. They have really good stats on it. They're playing since season 7. Nothing has changed. Maybe some of the objectives. But what did Oscar Victor Lima do really well in the last map? They did really good on their flanks. They were really good on aggression. On this map, if they try to go for flanks, it is a lot more difficult to flank on Suburbia than it is on Shipyard. Because on Suburbia, you just watch one little angle, and they go for the flank, you're dead. You know, you have a lot more cover. Versus Shipyard, when you go for that flank, those people don't have as much cover. They also, there's a lot more areas to flank from. So I think that Phantoms might take a pretty big lead on map number 2 here and win it and put us into a series decider.
So that will be very exciting to see. But so my eyes are going out for Phantoms, as I believe, as you said, this is their map. They do have the most experience and are looking fairly solid so far. Solks is kind of going very aggressively here. Has thrown a flashbang. He's going to make his way into the center. At the lane 3 does get taken out though from the massive amount of pre-fires there from Chris. Oh my.
That push did not quite work there for OVL. Now they got Canada guy at the red car too, with iron sights, as a matter of fact. Going to be holding down lane 4, which they do have 4 Phantoms over here in lane 4. So Uchiha there to help back up. Get some pre-fire going out. If I were Canada guy, I would just stay tucked in. And oh, he does get one though. If you tuck in and allow a couple to get to that white car and a couple around that corner of the sandbags, that gives you 1 to 2 kill possibility, if not more.
So what the real concern would be in my mind is that OVL might play this a little bit too aggressively. That is something I'm worrying about. Going for how aggressive they did play on the the first map, as you did see, Sogs did go for a very aggressive push, but didn't really pay off. Pablo is kind of preemptively trying to bait out from shots from Canada guy here. Does manage to get by, luckily.
And a great job from Canada guy holding down Achilles from peeking. So Smokes to possibly get him out of that situation. Does get tagged, but escapes that corner. Leviatha trades with Pablo, and Pablo's only down. So it's still a 3v3 with 1 revive possible. Will Uchiha maybe get a refrag, possibly toss a nade over there? Instead, the revive goes off and no one gets the kill.
So that was a nice little revive. Now Onucha is watching down the lane 3. Oh, Pablo is just trying to bait out some pre-fires here. He's playing this very aggressively to say at least, and pre-fires are going out. Does not catch him off though.
The bait did work from Pablo. Did get some intel as to where a player is and used up some of their ammo. So the real question is, will they be able to take out Uchiha? Or will that bait be? Great smoke, and wow, look at that play from Pablo. Does kill Uchiha, and the bait did work. Canada guy still over there, and some beautiful smokes onto his position, blocking his view. It is a good return flash to keep him from pushing. It is now a 2v4 with Phantom's favor, using some beautiful smokes to keep the defense at bay. And I'm pretty sure that they might know that Canada has rotated. They're going to start moving their way up through lane 4. Oscar has also helped back up lane 4 as well now for the rest of his team. So it's going to be a lane 4 cross, and Canada guy is going to have to watch it from his position if he wants to, hold this defensive line still.
It does appear that Phantoms will be trying to go very aggressive on the lane 4 side, trying to pre-fire through the hedges and across the fences, just trying to secure anybody who will be still sat there. But of course, as we do know, OVL have kind of moved their way back towards the objective here. Canada guy is now watching down to the lane 2 cross section at the bushes. So, they are trying to play this right by staying OBJ based if possible.
Yeah, I'm not sure how OVL is going to be able to hold this now. And just able to possibly see Achilles. Maybe some movement. Not sure if Achilles spotted Canada guy.
Oh.
Down goes Achilles. Canada guy did not confirm him. Jedi does instead. So now it's a 2v3. Still possible for OVL to clutch this round up. And
still very possible.
Not sure what the plan is from Phantoms here. I mean, they've got control of lane 4. They used up most of their smokes now, and they can't quite cross the street. Oscar's just now rotated towards Humvee side lane 1. Now Now, if I were Oscar, I might try to move up towards his Humvee and possibly get some sights on the Canada guy. Uh, but you got to be careful because if Canada guy gets those shots off first, you might go down without even getting a trade. Jedi is in a tough position though to battle up against. Although if you do cross that street in lane 4, you have an easier shot of taking out Jedi. And here goes the cross from Gecko. No one's watching it. Smokes went out and everything, and no one watched that cross. Gecko, you know, car insurance, has made it across the street and is safe. Canada guy just missing Oscar Alvarez. And at the same time, Oscar missed Canada guy. So Oscar's making his way up through lane 1 now. Geico Car Insurance has made it to lane 4 across the street.
Okay, car insurance.
Let's see what Phantoms can do here. Let's go over here to Geico and see how much we can save. 25% maybe car insurance. Shots go out from Canada guy. Smoke's coming out, and down goes Canada. So now it's all up to Jedi. OBJ, he's getting smoked out. They know he's there. They're going to go for this cap. Jedi running out into the open. Doesn't make it. And down goes Jedi. Phantom's getting that first round win.
Phantoms really did get it back, but they didn't check the straight cross, which was their their massive downfall in some ways. But it doesn't appear that the street cross really did affect them a little bit that badly. But I say it was very tough, to be honest.
Right.
Being stuck onto back porch is always a hard spot to kind of watch everything.
If Canada didn't die from Oscar there, he certainly would have died a second later by Geico. So
yeah.
Yeah. I think that
So-
OBL should have. I think Canada should have kept that position and made more behind red car and just keep them, possibly get a couple more picks there, and could have helped ultimately pull that defense down. As soon as Uchiha was spotted, should have rotated, easily got picked off by Pablo. Pablo peeked a little bit, noticed where Uchiha was, and then just turned the corner and pre-fired it. Took him out with just such ease. So, Jedi kind of just stuck on that porch, wasn't able to do much. Maybe a C4 in lane 1, possibly stacked up on one of the sandbags, could have helped take out maybe those 2 attackers that were pushing him at the very last second. So, just something to think about. You know, if you're playing this objective next time you find yourself in a similar position, you know, C4 on an objective like this would help a lot. You know, especially in that lane 1 area where there's not a lot of cover and you gotta somehow keep moving up. What do you think Oscar Victor
I am expecting quite a similar approach, because lane 4 is going to be quite a vulnerable position for them to go for the attacks for. Let's say Phantoms are well aware that the lane 4 is quite crucial to make sure to have that locked down, because any pre-fires from lane 4 will most definitely upset them. So if they can try to lock it down, I imagine that will be their main objective for the current moment. It does appear we are going to have Gecko, which will be going to the similar spot. Maybe going to the red car or some of those little boxes there, just making sure no one can push up.
An early flash to block that middle garden area from any pushes. Sog's moving up quick in there too, just trying to clear it out. And holding that line. Geico does kill Uchiha though on that peak, and Uchiha was not prepared for anyone watching that angle. You always got to make sure to check those corners before just running out into the open. Lane 4 is being covered now, as well as the remainder part of lane 1 and 2. Lane 3 is a little bit more open though. Some nades being thrown behind objective. Doesn't catch anyone though. And Sogs is starting to move up a little bit, more in the danger area. Achilles could probably hear Sog's footsteps. I think a grenade right behind objective, or even on these porches, would be a very effective grenade too on this play.
Safe. Okay, it does have a nade, so possibly, you know, if I was kind of in this situation, I might even just back out of porch and might just try to throw a nade over the building into next to the sandbags, and that might, you know, well and truly get 1 or 2 here. If the nade landed where, you know, Lev, Jedi, and Sogs are, you know, that could take out 2 or maybe even 3 of them. They are fairly bunched up together.
Right.
But that would just be how I would look at it. Ooh, shots from Lev.
Oh yeah, you're
Almost
right.
taking out Oscar here.
Sogs getting shot from Tipo underneath the Humvee, but Sogs is not moving. Some smoke's coming out onto that position as well, and some flashes. A return grenade doesn't get Sogs. It's a little bit too long, and another grenade also
Doesn't hit
misses
him.
Sogs. Wow.
It's grenade proof, clearly.
A third grenade. What is
Oh
going
my.
on? And look at that smoke on Tipoduro. Does a great job at blinding him. Unfortunately, there's too many players there and getting more picks. So now it's a 2v5 here. Canada guy here to help back him up. Tipo still blinded by the smokes. What can Oscar Victor Lima do here? I think Oscar might get a line of sight on the Jedi. No, but Pablo sure does. Will Pablo spot him? Ooh, and Achilles. Every other person I called out. Fuck. Got the kill, and down goes Canada guy. Wow.
So what a solid defense there from Phantoms. So they held it down carefully, to say at least, and they did play a fairly bit aggressive though when it comes to that last little section there, as of course Oscar was coming in and out, watching through the fences down the lane one. Did fortunately pay off to his favour though, so he will be most definitely glad of that hold he was doing.
Yeah, sometimes having that one person on defense just always gathering intel, calling out what they know and where enemies are, is a huge part to it. If you're ever in a moment where you're trying to stay stealthy, stay tucked in, you know, you can't always pull out your tablet and check it to these levels. So that's why it's useful to have that teammate for you and tell you when to peek and where to use where it's dangerous, where it's safe, things like that. So great job from Phantoms. 2-0 right now. Great lead. We might see a cap on this objective, I think. Very capable. Oscar Victor Lima definitely going to play aggressive. They have that spawn advantage to push up farther down the map. I think Phantoms are going to play it slow to start what we did the first round, and then they're going to try to play a little bit quicker once they get closer towards that objective and clear out that full house. So, do you think Oscar Victor Lima are going to play tucked in, or do you think they're going to keep pushing out farther?
I think they are going to do what I normally call the defensive panic, because they've lost 2 points so far, and they will be kind of they are getting themselves a little bit worried here. They are trying to make sure they don't do anything too rash, trying to stay together and try not to lose any players off as quick. Is their main objective for the current moment. Making sure you don't lose a player or two to like a aggressive peak will be their main idea. So I imagine they will be a little bit more centralized to the objective.
No, that's a good point. Round 3. Here we go. What are Oscar Victor Lima going to do? We got the lane 1-2 spawn here from Phantoms. And just like that, 3 players already pushing off of the objective. 4, actually. Canada guy also moving up. And 2 near mid-house. Early flash does get Geico, but Canada guy not going to take advantage of it.
It does appear they are instead going for more of an aggressive approach, which is, fair enough. They are kind of staying around the center point. They have not kind of pushed up past center, so I guess that is a fair advantage. But looking over to Yuchi here, might even be able to spot Tipu or Taipu if he stands up. But he's just
Looking
kind
at
of watching that
Sogs
cross.
here too. A lot of free fire coming out. Down goes the fight.
Yep.
5v4
Nice.
here. Curious to see what Sogs is going to do against Tipo. Definitely playing it patient here. And Canada guy gets Geico. And Tipo still making quite a bit of movement. Achilles does down Uchiha with the grenade. Actually doesn't down him, but kills him.
So this is some very tight little angles going on here. Canada guy is kind of stuck entirely in this 1v1 at the current moment. Canada guy just need to worry about Pablo at the same time. He's kind of stuck here. is chosen to stick to his position when he kind of has to hold it down. Doesn't need to worry about Oscar now, which is Jordan.
Ooh.
Down goes
Enemigo en
Jedi.
casa en medio.
Down goes another. So now Oscar Victor Lima are at 2. And this is what happens when you play a little bit too peaky. Phantoms will just start picking you off. And Achilles almost got the team kill onto Oscar. Is Oscar going to spot Canada Guy? And he does. Down goes Canada Guy all up to Sogs now. Doesn't even know that objective is open. Doesn't even want to check that tablet. Sogs, you're playing a risky game. Now he knows he's last one up. Probably going to start rotating here. Gonna go for a little flash toss. Doesn't do... I think it does get Tippo.
It does take out Tippo here. Tippo does throw a smoke onto his position.
What a smart play from Tippo. Disguising his body. Down goes Tippo, but objective is still open. Will anyone get there in time?
Like, this is very lucky though for Stoke, to say at least. They are, you know, if I knew that the objective was open for this long, I would be booking it.
Right, they should have a 4-person kill count at this point. And if they heard Sog's shots, they would know, all right, guys, run to that objective. It's open. Smokes blocks Sog's position on the cross. Might give time for a cap, too. They play their cards right. Oh, that's a grenade toss. Doesn't find anyone. 2 minutes, 45 seconds remaining. Most of Phantoms in lane 3 and 4. Pablo might get picked by Sogs here at this cross. And, I mean, Sogs is playing a very unorthodox position as their back is completely exposed to lane 1. But no one is moving up lane 1 at the moment. So, there goes a kill onto Pablo. The last member has definitely been exposed. Another smoke from Sogs to rotate. What is Sogs doing? And then a flare. Just put a red flag on top of your head and just tell everyone where you're at. Wow.
I mean, I'm just surprised at how Phantoms are playing this. I mean, I don't know about you, but I would have been on the objective, like, harder than ever.
Yeah, I would have been on it within, like, 1 second after looking at my tablet, noticing I was last up.
Say, Sogs is playing a risky man's game, to say at least. You know, for me, it's like, I will never leave an objective undetected if I know that I'm stuck in a 1v, you know, 1v5 or whatever. But, oh, on the trade. Let's say, what a weird round, to say at least. I would never feel comfortable with leaving the objective alone for that long.
We're going to adjust the score in just a moment.
But, yes, anyway. But, going over to the next round, say it's now going to be Phantom's turn on the defense, so it's going to be very exciting to see how Phantoms will be taking care of it, because Oscar Victor Lima is on the attacks. They do have the possible spawn, which is, I think, at the, I think it's the top, I think top west and one in top east, or the top west and top eastish. I can't particularly remember. It's one of the back houses, of course. So 1, 2, 3. I imagine one's at 1 and one's at next to 2. I can't exactly remember, but this is going to be quite a challenging objective going along.
Yes, indeed. We'll get those scores updated momentarily.
Say the scoreboard should hopefully fixed, but of course, but
not at the moment. But the score is currently 3 Phantoms to 0 Oscar Victor Lima. The tablet that I used died at 50% battery health.
Oh,
we love when that happens.
Oh, that's very unfortunate. But anyway, but moving on. We should be hopefully starting shortly, but we do have a player drop coming for Oscar Victor Lima. Possible timeout might occur, of course, but until we receive any form of words, it is going to be going on. But I'd say so far it's been quite a very exciting game. As I said before, it was very nice for the first map, of course, going for Oscar Victor Lima. Very aggressively, they did play that, so very epic for that first map. Of course, Phantoms are now getting it back, kicking in their teeth, telling me that they are the higher ranked team, of course, on their map pick, which is going to be, of course, Suburbia, and good old Suburbia. You either love it or you obsess over it.
Oh, I love
But say,
Suburbia, but it can definitely go either way a lot of times, even though it might be a team strong suit. Today, it's definitely going Phantom's way. Wouldn't be surprised to see a pretty big lead. But we do have a timeout from Oscar Victor Lima, so we're going to go ahead and head over to an intermission temporarily.
out for their advantage. So I would be kind of worried to try and see if they did that.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Yes.
Welcome back, everyone. We did get it all on video. We just unfortunately did not get any of the audio until now.
Oh,
Yes.
that is a rookie error and a half, to say at least. But unfortunately, that will happen. But on the stream forward, there will
I
be
blame
my
Androids.
Android.
Darn Android tablets, man. I was like, this is great. We're at 45% remaining, and then died on me, and I'm like, oh, great. And I was like, now I've got nothing to control the stream with. Now I have to do it manually, and no one likes to do things manually. And that's when things started on the downward downfall. 4-0 Phantoms, a great play from Oscar, as you could see, without any audio. Does get one, does get naded, but Phantoms coming in clutch, getting that second map with a great lead of 4-0, putting it into a series decider. We are now looking at what might be our final map that we'll see in our matchups. We were discussing that it might be Arctic, and Blue, did you have any other possible maps that might get played here?
Not exactly sure for what map, of course, Oxford will be playing, but you know, we might see either an Arctic or a maybe a Bazaar, perhaps, because Bazaar is always that.
Well, I just said that.
Throw
Bazaar's map number 3.
Ah, of course. I was the whisperer of the maps. Even I didn't even check it in time, but yes, it's going to be Bazaar. Very exciting.
Yes, it is. We did have a substitution during one of the timeouts from OVL. Korean, but Korean has since left, and we have back our original roster from map number 1 and most of map number 2. Bazaar is one of my favorite maps to cast. I'm glad it's going to be our series decider for map number 3. Our first objective is going to be on the northwest courtyard. This is a very common objective that we've seen since the start of Bazaar in the league. This one is typically a capital objective. You know, it's not the easiest to defend, but also still easier than Middle Kiat Hotel. So we're definitely going to see some possible cap attempts from Phantoms, and maybe not. I mean, they had some really great opportunities on Suburbia last map, and they never went for a cap on any of them. They got close on one, and they killed the last guy. And then the second attempt they had, the objective was open for approximately 2 minutes. And no one even made it to the objective either. They did get the round win, though, of course. So, for our last map, we're still waiting on one more player from Phantoms. What are your predictions for this one, Blue?
I am expecting quite a match for this last map, of course, as this is going to be more in the territory for Phantoms and also Oscar. So it might just be, because it's the more of the medium range map, it might well and truly see that both teams can try to use their, well, you know, a bit more of a preference for what different types of maps they do prefer to play. So you never know. This, of course, is one of those maps which, in fact, you know, you either have a really good team head or you really don't have a good team head. It's kind of it really depends on a very solid strategy, of course. And on this objective, you know, the smoke caps are very common, of course, underneath the three little hanging blue cloths. So it will be interesting.
What?
Hanging 3 cloths. It's the little market stalls right next to the objective. There we go.
Okay.
See, I'm not a one when it comes to the callouts in this objective, most particularly. I mostly know that if this is this objective, I'm going to expect people to go for aggressive caps, and of course you might even see the southeastern attack approach, depending if, of course, Oscar Victor Lima do get the southwestern spawn. So I'll be curious to see how they will be playing it.
I think that Phantom's going to play it slow on their offense as well. Pretty tight on their defense, while Oscar Victor Lima are going to play aggressive all around. The real question is this going to pay off? It would definitely help a little bit more to play aggressive on this one versus Suburbia. Suburbia, they're kind of having some trouble pushing up, not really able to get many kills and getting picked off very easily by Phantoms, but I mean, it's gonna be a close one, I think, on this one. I don't think this one's gonna be a shutout like Suburbia. I think this one's gonna be pretty much neck and neck. Possibly overall. I do have to fix the score though because.
But now checking over to OVL, which are getting themselves ready, do have the northeast or the northwestern spawn. I must say, sorry, I keep on mistaken.
Quick spawn.
The quick spawn. I keep on mistaken the spawn names, of course, but never mind about that. Do have phantoms, which do seem to have Aquas going around the street to enter the objective. An interesting choice, but quick trying to avoid any pre-fire. Do have Pablo, which is on the stairs, just trying to spot anybody.
Close shots, almost got Achilles there from Canada guy, but nothing connecting yet. So they are aware of Achilles' position. Uchiha might get the pick. Oh, and Achilles does make that cross. A very, very powerful cross as well. Gonna toss a possible grenade in the center. Not getting anyone though. Gonna have to watch out for Sogs and Uchiha as they are gonna be in a position to get the kill. Sogs does injure Uchiha just a little bit. Little love tap there. Trying to get some shots onto Pablo. I think Pablo knows that Sogs is there as well. Maybe a grenade might get tossed here. It does, but instead makes its way onto the rooftop. Not going to be able to get any kills.
Unfortunate. Sometimes nades go well, sometimes they don't. Oh, low engagement there with Sogs and Gecko, but Sogs is unfortunately going to be taken out from Gecko, which is in that little window position, leaving us now to a 5v4 for Phantoms. Do have Aquas. It is kind of playing a bit aggressively here. Do need to worry about Lev, which is on his left. Lev just cross. Might swing round to get Canada guy here. Oh, just swing round. Gets a very nice pick.
Uchiha does kill Pablo. We're gonna see if Uchiha might get the refrag onto Achilles. He did hear Achilles take those shots. So now it's the 3v4. Phantom still in the lead here. Leviatha actually in a pretty good position here on objective. Does kill Achilles, but doesn't check for Tipoduro there. Tipoduro does get the kill. Objective is now open. Tipo only one there to protect it. I think Oscar should start rotating here. Still 2v3 now. Oscar Victor Lima with the deficit in teammates. Let's see what Jedi and Uchiha are gonna do. I mean, they haven't moved at all since the past few kills here. Especially Jedi.
Oh.
Not sure what Jedi's thinking right now. He's trying to use the Force.
We do see enough of that Star Wars stuff. We do see a Chio and Tippo might get into a little engagement here. Tippo is just kind of just teasing the staircase, but it will be pushing down it, unfortunately. Oh, he's going back for it. No, he's not. He just likes to tease the staircase, clearly. But he will be kind of moving his way into the objective building, trying to lock it down to make sure that no one from OVL can try to get that cap. Do have Achia and of course Jedi being the last players remaining for OVL, trying to make their way closer to the objective. Need to worry about Tipo here, as he is kind of the main threat. But we do have Gecko, which is probably least of the bit of a problem because he is kind of far away. So if they do take down Tipo, they do have full access to the objective for a few moments at least, trying to get that cap through, so they can try to secure that pick.
Yeah, still 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Probably the slowest we've seen OVL play so far. And a pretty bad smoke toss as well from Jedi. Not doing anything for their team. Uchiha finally starting to move away from his position. 2 minutes remaining. Will they be able to take out Tipo here?
Say they're now just trying to creep up to the objective. Tipo is the OBJ defense. is going to be kind of coming out in and out, just trying to make sure to check the objective. Oh, Ichia might be trying to go for a push here. It's coming around. The Tippo's not looking.
Does kill
Gets the
Tippo.
pick. The cap could be going ahead here.
Oscar's
It's all up to
aware of
Oscar.
him, though. Does he see Oscar? Don't think
Doesn't see
Oscar's
Oscar.
visible. Just barely, actually. Smokes are going out, though, on objective. Does he see Oscar in that corner?
Yes,
He does! Down goes Oscar, but Geico is on objective, tossing flashes into the smoke. And wow, OVL somehow clutching up that round in that deficit. Well played. There we go. We got all the scoreboard stuff.
Go to the scoreboard. All fixed, handy dandy.
Yes. I already know people are going to start commenting in the chat, saying the score's wrong and your mic's not working, and I understand. It's been a rough patch today during map 2.
In a very much respect. Do respect that, you know, you have come back from a very long break from doing this.
A year.
It's been a year, so anybody who is given a little bit of a frown look, do respect that it's been quite a while for Lipinski's sake to get back into it, so do regard, but it was you blame Android. Well, I believe after this cast I will leave a very angry complaint to Android that because of your questionable, you know, products, a cast was halted. Well,
meanwhile, I'm
hopefully-
using my backup Android device.
now watch this. Now watch this device break as well.
Well, this one's currently charging, so hopefully it doesn't.
Okay.
But I
So
am
very unfortunate. So 75% down to 50 to dead. That has to hurt.
yeah, I'm like, I've only been streaming for an hour and a half. Like, how do you lose 75% battery life? How do you lose 50% battery life within an hour and a half? Doesn't make
No
sense.
idea. No idea.
Next round, same spawn, quick spawn from Phantoms. Round number 2.
Gonna be very excited.
Yeah.
So this is the quick spawn. So you know we might even just see Phantoms trying to show their dominance. Maybe trying to get a cap. If they do get that cap, though, you know this is a very capable objective. If you do get a very nice push, I'm gonna see 3 people running down the street. Gecko is unable to catch him enough. Yuchi might spot him.
Yuchi.
Yuchi.
Oh, and Yuchi does get past Geico's point of view. Definitely going for that flank, but look at that
Oh,
frag
look at that
grenade.
nade. Oh, he does get him.
Wow.
What a nade.
Well
So that
played.
does secure a pick onto Yuchi. Do need to get that confirmed kill.
Jedi did make it into North Kiat, though. Pretty good position.
Jedi will be a very big threat coming up, as you said, he is in Kiot. Shots are kind of ringing out from Oculus. Trying to get a few shots onto Canada guy, which is going to be rotating back to the objective here.
At least near it. I don't think he's going
Near
all
it.
the way.
He's not rotating. Oh, he's not fully rotating. He's just moving back. Oh, he might be rotating. He is rotating back by the looks. So if not trying to go to the northeastern
Wow.
quadrant.
Once again, just missing a couple of shots there. And look at the map here. Look at how spread this offense is from Phantoms. 2 in the middle, 1 far north wall, 2 far south wall. Definitely going to take their time on this objective. Let's see how Jedi tries to handle this north approach here. I mean, might be able to get an angle onto Oscar here. Yes, he does.
Oh.
There goes Oscar, making it 4v4. Still watching that north wall cross 2 for Geico. Meanwhile, Achilles and our friend Tipodoro are going to be moving up through the south. Canada going to have to be the one that watches this approach here. Not sure what the plan was to move all the way south street and then move all the way back towards objective there. I mean, he made a pretty good advancement. I would have probably ran into that room there. Pablo does kill Sogs near objective though, at the barrel. Reminder,
So that's-
peeking Phantoms is not a good idea. That's when they kill you.
So it's now leaving us down to a 4v3 situation. We do have Pablo on the main street, and we do, of course, have Eucharist and Tipo kind of in the southeastern quadrant. We'll be trying to now push up, make their way to the northern quadrant. We'll be trying to put some pressure onto Canada guy, which is at the broken wall. Kind of watching that cross. He is watching it very carefully though. For that little gap, might have spotted Curious. Does take shots towards him. Unfortunately, does not catch. Using the SKS, probably a very unique choice of weapon. Does need to worry about 2 players now trying to take his head off.
Wow. Can't believe Canada did get a couple of hits though on Achilles. Impressive.
Very nice, impressive shots, but unfortunately didn't catch any off. But say it does leave Akuris and Tipo just trying to get that rotate around.
Pablo is making some good progress up here in the center, but Jedi might get a... No, Jedi doesn't even look over at Pablo, and instead gets taken out by Geico on the back. Not sure why they made that rotation, but it was a very, very costly rotation there for them. Now leaving only Leviatha near objective here. Gonna have to handle Pablo as well as everyone else with only one member. Canada boy. Or guy. Canada guy. Boy, guy, same thing.
Well, maybe that is the case, but we do see if Gecko is going to make the street cross, trying to make his way, trying to grab any utility off his fallen teammates as he can. So Pablo and Lev are really close together here. As I said, you did see. I don't think Lev doesn't know that Pablo knows he's there. Pablo does get the pick onto Lev.
And objective is open.
The cap should be going ahead right here, but they are unaware. They're not going for that cap. There should be. Pablo, you should be going for this cap, Pablo. Come on, Pablo. Come on, Pablo. The OBJ is open, Pablo. Clearly a unidentified kill count clearly for Phantoms, as Pablo has not gone for that cap when he probably should have. Leaving time for
wow.
that.
He killed both of them there.
Wow.
Phantoms with that round win. And this is the third time Phantoms had a cap opportunity and didn't attempt it there. They are just not eager for the cap. They just want the easy round win, but it came down to only one left alive. Imagine if Pablo was dead and 2 players just got killed and the trade gave Oscar victory for the round win. Right now, 1-1 tied score for our Series Decider map 3.
As I did say, I was expecting this to be quite a very tight map going forth, but the OBJ is now going to be moved towards the eastern middle tank. So probably one of the most known objectives for being very capable, as it is just quite in the middle of the street. Of course, with a good defense, you can clearly stop any person getting close to the objective, making sure the east and the southern side, or the north and southern side, are secure is very important. Don't often see people push down the main street though, so
right.
But of course you do see occasional people do a peek around the, I forget what it's called, the little up section you can go on, the little catwalk section with the scaffolding. You need to watch out for the scaffolding, the up section. The little up section here, over here, next to the scaffolding. The blue room scaffolding is a very, it's a spot you do see occasionally one player kind of push round, so always keeping eyes out for that is always key.
Right, and I don't think they're going to go for a cap on this one, even if the opportunity arises. Neither team have been really cap coming here. I don't think anyone on either team have actually had tablet out here objective once or gone for one. So we'll see what they do on this round. Round number 3.
It does appear that Oscar Victor Lima will be getting the northwestern objective spawn here. No objective spawn. I need to stop saying objective. We'll be getting the spawn, the northwestern spawn. There we go. So this does give them quite a fair bit of time. Isn't the quicker spawn, which is near the center?
It's at North
Up
Kiot.
the north side. North Kiot, yes,
Yeah.
but it still gives Phantoms plenty of time to kind of set themselves up, but have to kind of hope that Oscar Victor Lima try to get a few smokes across the street to get that cross and to make sure they can try to get control of center markets.
Geico taking shots at no one so far. And Pablo is at Tilted Fridge Souvenirs right now, but hasn't quite peaked yet. Is doing a couple of side peeks around the fridge, trying to spot anyone.
Jedi is having a quick look at the OBJ. It's holding quite a good angle, so he can kind of watch to see if anybody's further down the street, but no one will be really pushing. We do not have anyone. No one has made the cross though, which is quite curious. The cross into northeast, which is normally done.
Achilles is watching that angle, and it's a very common spot to hold. So crossing towards that east could cause some issues for Oscar Victor Lima.
Of course, but they didn't do the sandbag smoke attack, which is often used, but that is interesting to see why they have chosen to not do this. Not exactly sure, as having that northeastern quadrant kind of taken care of is crucial in my opinion.
Smoke's
as it
means
if you're trying to go for that cap.
Ooh, a team kill from Leviatha onto Uchiha, and down goes Leviatha from Pablo. Not looking good for Oscar Lima right now.
Leaving us down to a 2v5. This is not looking very great. So it's not looking the best of ways. So 3 players taken out very quickly. It's probably not a great start. But do see Oscar, which might be getting a little bit more aggressive now. Trying to make its way into that little core area. I forget what it's called, but say if he does make that cross, he will have access to try to take out Canada and of course Jedi, but he will be sitting there kind of watching the street cross. And does have a good angle. Does spot Canada guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how OVL are going to be able to approach this. Does Jedi know Oscar's even over there? And if so, has he called him out yet? Doesn't seem like Canada guy is aware that Oscar's there. Jedi's going to go for the peek. And doesn't see him. Oscar hasn't peeked. Oh, and here it comes. Down goes Jedi from Oscar. Canada's like, you know what? I'm going to get that refrag. He's mine. Immediately got up, tried to get the kill, but didn't quite see him. Now Canada's in a bit of panic with 3 minutes up, checking every little angle he can.
Ooh, does get tagged. It's not aware where Oscar really is, though, by the looks of things. Out goes a nade. Oh my, lands perfectly on him, barely misses him.
That little lip, the little bit of a lip protected Canada guy from that grenade.
So it's not looking the best for Canada guy, as you know, it is a tough situation to be in, to be stuck in this type of air, which is not really attackable, I must admit you. And it's kind of the numbers advantage. You know, anywhere he tries to push from, he has people looking at him. Almost takes Tippo's head off there.
1v5, man. Decides to flare Tippo. Oscar doesn't see Canada rotate here. But has to watch out for Pablo, and Pablo gets the kill, leaving Phantoms with 5 up. Phantoms 2-1 against Oscar Victor Lima. Good for Phantoms so far. They only need a cap here, and they win the series. But Oscar Victor Lima will still come back here and save the series as the underdogs.
So it is getting very intense now, as you did say. Only a cap is required for Phantoms. Anyone which is new, of course, to Onward. A cap does give the team for the Marsok side, which is going to be Phantoms for this coming up round, 2 points for getting that objective cap. So it's always crucial for that team if they do have the opportunity to get that cap, as it does greatly favour them, as it is best 2-4. So whoever team does get the 4 points does win the map. So it's always important to try to get that cap, of course. But Phantom only need 2 more points, so they're only 1 cap will try to win. One attack round and 1 defensive round if they do want to secure this map win. And of course the match entirely.
Yes, just like you said, 2 points to win, Phantoms. 3 for Oscar Victor Lima. Cap provides 2 points, first to 4. Win. This is our series decider. We're on round number 4 coming up here. This is an objective that is capable. Phantoms could have that opportunity. I think Phantoms will not go for it. Only because why would they? They haven't done it once so far. They never did it on Suburbia with 2 opportunities. They didn't do it on Bazaar. Probably not gonna do it.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Maybe that's just me and my team, but no, we strive for caps. You know, maybe that's just us, but we are very aggressive, trying to put force into the team. You know, we know the benefits of getting a cap. You know, you get 1 cap, that's 2 points. Get a defensive round. You know, you only need 1 more point after that point. So it is, in my eyes, it is worth trying to risk a cap. But maybe that's just up to me.
Right. Phantoms having the quick, aggressive spawn decides to not send most of their team that way. They're actually going to go for a very long and wide flank in the southwest.
Going to be very curious to see why they've decided to do this. But I guess in a little bit of hindsight, this will in some way catch Oscar Victor Lima off guard. Because, you know, not many teams are going to be expecting quite a Eastern approach.
I don't know. Look at Canada guy right now. He's going for that wide flank with his gun up every step of the way. He might watch everyone cross here.
But
wow.
No, we'll get off.
Got too antsy. Just wanted to continue that flank regardless of having the gun up or not. Gets taken out by Tipoduro, while Achilles is just laying on the ground in front of him.
So this is just a very interesting decision to make. You know, do get the 1 pick, but I guess in some ways it will kind of take OVL off guard. You know, having that, like essentially speaking, that 3-man push going through the east, that will most definitely be a very weak point, as they only have 2 players on the east, and of course we do have Yuchi, which is very, very, very far away from the objective.
Right. I mean, Canada guy, his play right there would have probably decided the round there. I mean, getting 1 or 2 kills just alone in that southwest would have probably affected the entire round. Unfortunately, not prepared for his own flank, gets taken out prematurely.
So that would have been a very, very good flank if it did, of course, work. But, you know, sometimes you do take a massive risk of that and it doesn't pay off occasionally. But, you know, mistakes do happen. Yeah, very nice attempt. But if that did, of course, work out, you know, that is 2 or 3 picks. And that would have been a decisive round chooser.
It's nice to see Pablo playing it slow up the center, just taking his time, allowing for his team to rotate before they start crashing that objective. Completely surrounding them. Uchiha going to be the next defender in the south here. Has to have some awareness that they are coming in the southwest because of Canada's death. Real question is, will they be able to get any picks here from Achilles, Geico, or Tipoduro?
So it's going to be quite a challenging, you know, defense for Yuchi, as he does have 3 players kind of making their way up. But, you know, Phantoms do take it rather slowly. You know, we have already used about 3 minutes of their time.
Yeah, half the time that they're allotted, they already used.
So it's understandable to try to take it a little bit slowly, but I would be worried. They do have quite a distance still left to get to that objective, so maybe getting a little bit faster, get into position, and then try to take it a bit slowly and a bit more tactical.
Right.
Might benefit them a bit more, but
a grenade onto Uchiha's position would definitely prove beneficial for Phantoms, especially because you'll never know if someone's there. And I think Geico might be preparing to throw a grenade. I'm not sure. Or at least a flash. Nope, there goes some smokes, actually. Now Uchiha knows for sure that they are there.
That was a
There's
flash.
the
Just
flash
hit
bang.
with the face. That was an excellent flashbang. They haven't checked it. None of them have checked it. They might just come out and just secure the pick.
What a beautiful flash there.
That well and truly might not have worked just then. Nice little engagement coming from Korean and Oscar. And just a nade. Oh, flashes at that back. Out goes a native right above. Does not catch him, unfortunately off.
No, it does not. Oscar's finally moving up. Meanwhile, the rest of the push in the south from Phantom smokes on objective. Jedi not really being able to cover much. Sog's in a very tough position here. I haven't actually seen that spot before, which is very interesting. I always thought that there was an invisible hit barrier that prevented you from going that far in.
I've seen probably one player play that once, and I can assure you that they got lit up by multiple pre-fires.
And I just noticed Koreans in here. When did Koreans show up again?
A Korean decided to jump in on the third map because I believe someone did have to drop, but Korean is now back.
Down goes Jedi. Possible team kill. Jedi does kill Oscar. Wait, what? I don't understand how that happened.
Yeah.
2v4. Really bad toss from Sogs. Blinds himself. Tosses a smoke down on himself as well. Objective is still definitely open. Down goes Korean. Sogs in the smoke. Achilles gonna go for the cap, but grenade killed him.
The nade.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the nade. What a nade though, regardless. But so that was a very odd round to say the least.
Right. It was. Just smoking himself. The kill onto Korean. The cap attempt, first one we've seen, and a grenade actually killing Sogs as well. That was definitely a close one. Phantom's now at 3 points to 1 against Oscar Victor Lima. You also want to circle back on one of the replays as well from earlier against the position that Uchiha was holding. So would be this replay. Play that real quick. There we go. Getting flash and completely overtaken by 3 members of Phantoms. So 2 players in that south essentially not able to do much to protect them from that strong aggression push. I mean, once again, Canada, his position would have been essential to protecting that round, as well as Uchiha, both failing. I mean, a more appropriate flash from Uchiha as a defensive flash might have helped save him a little bit, but tucking in, getting turned on that corner just wasn't enough, and essentially cost that round as well as the rest of the team. I mean, I don't know what Sogs was quite doing in that corner, being in the open. I mean, you could definitely see if someone was going to go for the cap there, depending on the route that they took. But as soon as you just threw smoke on yourself, that just blinded the entire defense on that objective. So, how do you think that Oscar Victor Lima could recover from this map so far?
I mean, the best idea, well, the most hopeful idea would be for them at least, would be trying to get a cap to try to even out the scores. But as you know, as you did say, both these teams are not very cap heavy for this evening. You know, I've seen there's been many instances to where I would have seen someone go for a cap, but you know they are playing rather uncapped reserve, which is kind of interesting to see why they've decided to done this. You know, I do often see teams have an issue trying to go for overcapping, but never seen a team go for undercapping. You know, there was instances where the objective were completely open for more than like 20 seconds, but no one would go for it. But let's say maybe Oscar Victor's main idea would be just trying to secure a few picks, trying to get a few points down, trying to even it out. But they just need to play a bit aggressive. Try not to play too aggressively. Try to play too defensively. Maybe we can try to get a point on their attack. We're gonna have to see how we go for them.
Right, and I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. I think that Oscar Victor Lima won't go for a cap once again.
Yeah.
But this is one of those objectives where, I mean, like, let's be honest. Oscar Victor Lima should have seen a pattern by now how Phantoms play on Marsoc. Every single round they've always spread out and surrounded the objective before they move in. Every single round. You know, they should be able to form up an idea of how to counter that. So far, they have not been able to.
So it is an odd one. Nice still played the onto Uchiha.
Not a very strong position to be sitting in from Uchiha, as this tilted fridge is a very common spot to pre-fire from.
It's a very common spot, as you did say. Just, oh, it does come out again. Almost takes that Canada guy, but almost gets taken out himself. Does cut back in.
Right.
We'll be most definitely trying not to do something like that again.
Oscar does pick off Jedi from his position. Might possibly find one more. Oh, and Korean and Oscar actually trade. Jedi kills Oscar as well after he died. Okay. Matt? It's 2-4 right now. Phantoms with the lead on the kill count here, needing only one more round to win the series.
So it's going to be a tough one.
It is going to be a tough one.
It's going to be quite a tough one, as it is a 2v4. You know, they do need to make a decision here. Do they want to kind of play aggressively to try to take them off guard? Or do they want to try to go a little bit slower and a bit more reserved?
Right.
So for the current moment, it does appear that Kandagai and Sogs are kind of just making their way into the market. We'll be trying to make that cross. Sogs is kind of keeping very low. So it's interesting to see to why they have decided to go very slowly on this terms of this round.
Sogs can't even see that angle where Pablo is from his position, unless Pablo were to run out into the open. Canada guy did pre-fire to get into that blue room, which is a pretty typical meta position to try to get to this objective from. Gonna have to watch out for Achilles though, because Achilles is in a pretty good spot as well in these windows.
So they are taking this very slowly. Canada guy is in the scaffolding blue room. There we go. It's not the up thing anymore. I've learned.
Yeah.
I've learned my ways. I said, you know, Phantoms are taking great care of the fact they do have time and they do have all the power to take this how they want to.
Right.
You know, they have decided rather to play aggressively, they want to stick to the objective. Having 3 people kind of like on the objective and kind of having the back flank, which will be across Gecko, which is kind of watching that cross. No, it's not Gecko, is it? I believe it is. And yes, it is Gecko, which is kind of watching that south and attack approach. So they do have it all kind of covered off.
Yeah. 2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining for OVL to stay in the series.
It's getting very tight. Oh, Canada guy does pick out.
Yeah, they
almost get spotted.
Call him out here.
I don't think they spotted him. Oh, Pablo has spotted Canada guy.
Pablo?
Oh, Pablo did come round
Down
to secure the pick.
Canada guy. All up to Sogs now. In a 1v4, 2 minutes remaining. Yeah, he does not seem happy. As he kind of threw his hands out in the air. Like, come on. What is Sogs going to be able to do here? Slowly cross this street in the open. All it's gonna take is one person to say, let me just check this road real quick, and that very might well be the round.
He's taking loads of his time. You know, he is in a very bad position, but I'll be inclined to try to keep up the pace. You know, once you're near the objective, that's when you can take it slowly. But you know, you already know that you're kind of in a sticky position.
If you're in Sog's position, how would you go about trying to win this round here?
Well, I would need an absolute miracle if I was in this type of position, but my best way would be just trying to creep up here, try to get a pick onto Acuris, which probably will be the easy one. He is making constant audio. Then maybe try to loop around, because I do know that Pablo has been previously peeking out near the fridge. So that will be a pretty good advantage, knowledge of hindsight, to know that he's kind of playing around that area.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Sogs is aware that 2 players are nearby. That's what I'm thinking.
What I would do is, with 45 seconds, I mean, with 2 minutes, which was earlier, I would have been running around this bar and souvenirs, Tilted Fridge, and just go for some pre-fires where I think they're at, and just make a lot of noise. Once I might get a pick or two, then I know the rest are gonna fall back towards objective and just try to keep baiting out the remaining players and pre-firing what I could, because playing slow is not gonna win. You know, you are not gonna be able to get this clutch with playing slow.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be, unfortunately, a GG. Shots from
And
Sogs,
that's
but only
why.
10 seconds remaining. You know, you don't have any time. You've wasted all your time.
Yep.
10 seconds remaining.
Sogs
He
played
has
slow for 2 minutes, had an opportunity to get a shot and missed, and just lost all 2 minutes there. There it is. Phantoms win as Sogs has ran out of time. And Phantoms win the series. A total of 9-5. Look at that. It's like we're going to work. 9-5. Well done, Phantoms. That was a close match there overall in the series. You know, a couple of, you know, looked just like Shipyard. You know, Oscar Victor Lima won that first round. And, did they?
Yes, they did. Won the first round. No, Oscar Victor Lima did lose the first round. Phantoms got the first round.
Antazar.
Antazar, yes, but Shipyard, I believe, was the opposite way round.
Yeah, Shipyard, Phantoms won the first round, and then Oscar Victor Lima went for unanswered points. And I think on Bizarre, Oscar Victor Lima had 1 round win, and then Phantoms had 4 unanswered points right there as well. So, kind of just like a table has been flipped, but congratulations, Phantoms, for keeping the streak and the veterans happy of winning the series here. Thank you, Sniffer, for co-casting as well. I appreciate the help there, especially with the technical difficulties and keeping the stream alive. So I appreciate that.
No worries, of course.
Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to our production team for helping make this happen. And thank you to the chat as well for staying around and watching these streams and staying up to date on what's going on with the league. We appreciate you. We're here because of you as well. We can't do this without you guys. So thank you very much. This has been VRML Onward Season 14, week number 5. Not 6, but 5. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys maybe later tonight or sometime tomorrow. So have a good night, everyone, and good luck next week.